Hey Hunters, Halozu here for another One D&D video for the Playtest 8, or the official Playtest 8. Today we're talking about the Druid, which is actually a pretty interesting one. Uh, it's going to be quick, but it is what it is. So, going through here, we first come up to the changes. All that's happened is Wild Shape is changed. Yeah. Uh, However, it now allows the druid to know more beast forms. So basically, before you didn't get many out of it, which was a shame. Like you were very limited on them. It was stupid. So having more as you progress, oh my gosh, it's so much better. I'll be blunt. It also gives temporary hit points to the druid. Yes, great. It's awesome. Uh, and that's always it gives temporary hit points. It's no longer wild moon specific, which fair. It's fair. Though I think moon gets more now. Uh, Also, beast form no longer gets the druid species traits. So yeah, a long-standing thing is that your race would actually affect your beast forms. That has been removed fairly, because like before you could be a Yuan-Ti druid and just break the game with Yuan-Ti moon druid. It's like, oh gosh, because he got magic resistance. Like, yeah, that's no longer a thing. So you don't get your race stuff, which fair. I fully understand it. I mean, it's sad that like a half orc moon druid is going to be the same as a high elf moon druid, but it's it's fair for it stops you from breaking the game in some stupid ways. Even if there is like a loss of the flavor, but I'm fine with it. It's a positive change in my opinion, overall at least. Uh Also, one thing I'm going to note, there is a change that didn't happen that should have. Well, actually two. First off, please go back to having an alternate name for the wild shape uses. Please. I I don't like it being wild shape uses anymore. It's like Oh, I also noticed that you can use spell slots for Wild Companion. I don't know why you'd ever do it, but you can. Also, I will note that fine, you still don't get uh buffs to this. I think you should get upgrades to Wild Companion innately, or just like little things. Maybe some stuff like what Pact of the Chain Warlocks can get as you progress. So you get a few of those things, though maybe not as powerful, but you get some of the stuff that you can get from them. Uh, it's also noted that in the player's handbook there will be more beast options, uh, which will be nice. I assume it's mostly going to be the stuff that appeared in, um, what's it called? Volos. Because Volos had a few more animals added. And there's some that were in the monster manual that didn't appear, so I don't know if there's going to be a lot of new ones, like totally new ones, but I do suspect it's going to be a lot of stuff that, hey, here's a bunch of stuff reprinted. Or heck, they might even say, oh yeah, by the way, we're just reprinting all the beasts. We're printing them all in this handbook. Here you go. Here's all the animals you could turn into. That would be awesome, in my opinion. Just have them all there instead of having to go through the monster manual and look for all the beasts. Have all the ones coming in the base content in the player's handbook. Then we're perfect. Forms known is now 2 plus half your druid level rounded up. So you begin with 3, and you'll get an extra one at 3rd level, which is, oh, it's perfect. It would have been nice if you could retrain them But it is what it is. And here they suggest riding horse, spider, wolf. I don't know. Personally, I don't think I'd pick riding horse or spider. I would go weasel. But, as well as probably a swimmer. But that's just my 2 cents. And I feel like it's kind of ignoring the change to you can have aquatic speeds, but But otherwise, it's the same. You just don't get your racial features, so fair. And where does it say you get temporary hit points? It's actually it's just druid level. So basically, you get druid level temporary hit points. Definitely nice. I would say this should not happen if you're becoming a tiny shape. But it is what it is. It's basically a way of adding back the extra resilience you had before without breaking the game. Let's be clear. It doesn't break the game. Everything else, though, it's fine. Like, I still would have liked if they unified Wild Shape and Companion as, like, Wild Gifts or something, and had an alternate name for Wild Shape uses. Please, change this. It's outdated terminology. Still doing Circle of the Sea, which I think that needed to be changed up a lot. Basically to make it not want to be in melee, because, yeah. But, nitpick. Why the hell was this not changed? Why? I mean, granted, like, the number one thing it broke was Poison Spray, which is actually different now. And actually, like, this does nothing anymore. I don't need extra range anymore. It's useless. Well, I mean, with an asterisk that it just doesn't have a place anymore. Like, 300 feet, it's good, but I don't really need 300 feet anymore because, like, it was a light upgrade to make your spells have decent range, and it's like, ugh, just make the base ranges better. And here it's like, I don't need this at all. It does nothing for me. It's just there. And I wouldn't even mind if they gave it the cleric one. Just, it'd be fine, honestly. Like, yeah, we don't need 300-foot range. It does nothing for us. I mean, you might occasionally get uses out of it, but it's so terrible. Just kill it with fire, please. I wouldn't even mind if it was like maybe, oh hey, you get to do elemental damage now. So you could add the types of damage that Primal Strike could do. Like maybe it's the first level Primal Strike is added to your spells. That'd be fine. And by first level, I mean the 7th level version of it. But, yeah. Not a fan of that not changing. It's honestly one of those things where I'm like, why didn't this change? That should have been changed. Because now it's even worse, because it's like, the thing it fixed is already fixed. It doesn't have a place, because before, at the very least, it was like, well, it kind of makes your spells have decent range. I wish it wasn't all the way at level 15, but now it's just like, yeah, my Produce Flame has the range it's supposed to. There's just no place for it here. So a change to potent spellcasting at level 15 is kind of necessary, because going to it now, it's like, yeah, this doesn't have a purpose anymore, because the problems it was trying to fix, terribly, I might add, because it was never good. Except with poison spray, because that, yeah, that does some stupid stuff when it goes from 10 feet to 30 or 300. Yeah. But here it's just like, it's even more meh than it was before. So sad. Okay, Circle of the Moon. While Circle of the Sea does need a total overhaul, I do actually like their changing up Circle of the Moon. And I think both should have shown up, but they're focusing on Circle of the Moon right now, which, honestly, I like this. It's looking cool. So, level 3, you get circle spells, and you have a bunch of stuff, and all of these can be used in wild shape. So, instead of the abjuration thing they had before, instead you have these 5 spells. Or actually, 7 spells. These are the ones you can cast in wild shape form. Now, quick nitpick. It does not tell you you have a cantrip, first level spell, and second level spell. Sorry about that. Cough's acting up still. But, yeah, TLDR, these are the spells you get to cast in wild shape. So, a quick note on, this will run into the spell changes, but, to sum it up, Cure Wounds has actually been improved, and it might actually be worth casting now. Because they made it very powerful. Because Cure Wounds now rolls 2d8 starting out. You don't get to cast as a bonus action, which I'd still have preferred if it was the old Cure Wounds, but you bonus action cast it on yourself. But for what it is now, very good. I'll talk about it more in the spells video, which is going to be the 4th one released today. And then Starry Wisp is a ranged attack cantrip. Yeah. You now have a ranged cantrip. I will say, though, while I like it fitting into the lunar, like the moon theme, I would actually have preferred Thorn Whip. I mean, let's be honest. I think we all would have preferred Thorn Whip being here instead. Just because Thorn Whip, it works perfectly with the build. It works. But you can now be a caster beast. This is so nuts and I love it. And it's like, yeah, I can be a beast form caster now. This is going to be fun. The 3rd level spell is Vampiric Touch. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. So much fun to be had with this. Oh boy. It doesn't really fit the flavor, but it fits the mechanics perfectly. It's like, yeah, now we're just going to casually let you, like, lifesteal? Heck yeah. Oh my gosh, that's going to be fun to use. Fountain Movement Light is a new self-buff spell. At 4th level, so it's got a lot of buffs to it. TLDR, though, extra damage in melee. It's about what you'd expect. And then Dawn, because that's apparently coming in the new player's handbook. Fun. I actually suspect all of Xanathar's spells are going to be in it. But Dawn itself, great. It's a fun capstone. It's a spell that doesn't really get used much right now, but it's fun to have it here. But I do like how they just made it where it's like, yeah, you get a bunch of circle spells, and we're going to let you cast them in beast form. Awesome. My only change would be Starry Wisp to Thorn Whip. Also, circle forms. So, max challenge rating is Druid level divided by 3. Rounded down. Fair. So basically it's doing what it did before. It's just, it starts here. Armor class is 13 plus your wisdom modifier until you leave the form. Though I would specify if it is not higher. Granted, I think it's usually going to be higher. Because it's usually going to be 16 starting out, and then you're going to upgrade it. But I would have specified if it's not that or higher. So, for example, if you're, like, for whatever reason, you have a CR1 beast that has 17 AC, then you could use its AC instead. It's going to be a corner case thing, but I would have liked if it specified, oh yeah, by the way, you don't have to use it if it's higher. So it only matters if it's higher than the AC of the animal. And temporary hit points is tripled entering beast form. Perfect. This is all just great. I love it. Improved circle forms. Lunar Radiance. Each of your attacks in Wild Shape can be radiant instead of normal. Fair. I do miss this. It counts as magical, but this is nice. Though they may regret radiant damage, but yeah. Vampires beware. Because now you can do a lot of cheesing. Like, you... Put simply, there's a lot of stupid stuff you can do with that. It's silly how many things you can cheese now. Because you also have Primal Strike, because let's be honest, you're taking it. I mean, you could use improved potent spellcasting, but you're taking Primal Strike. But it lets you choose Cold, Fire, Lightning, and Thunder. Fire in particular being the silly one, where, yeah, you can bypass a lot of silly stuff. It's like Troll Regen, Vamp Regen. It's very powerful. Might be too powerful. Increased toughness. Add Whiz to con saves. Yeah, that's good, actually. Granted, a lot of animals have pretty good con, so I don't think it's going to be that useful unless... Was it only your wisdom or strength and dex changed here? I'm trying to remember. No, you keep it, you have its con, so... I do think it would have been nice if this was maybe dex saves instead. Because that is going to be the one that you're using a lot more. Con saves are usually going to be fine, but dex is the one that gets iffy. So I would have liked if this was dex saves instead. But, oh well, it is what it is. Moonlight Step. You can just teleport around if you want. Still fun. I don't think it was changed at all. Yeah, it wasn't. What the heck is Lunar Swipe? Actually, looking at it, they're mentioning something that's not here. Because it never mentions Lunar Swipe. What is Lunar Swipe? Once again, we just get a weird thing where there was a change that wasn't added, it seems. Because Lunar Form also doesn't mention it, so... What is going on? What is Lunar Swipe? Granted, like, what is here is actually good. Like, improved Lunar Radiance. Each attack in Wild Shape automatically deal D10 radiant damage. awesome. Though I will say, slight nitpick, I kind of want this to be an extra D8. Just so it matches Primal Strike. I mean, granted, it might actually be better this way because you can tell which one's the Radiant, but I digress. That's just personal preferences. Like, I'd like if it was a D8 as well to consolidate them, but oh well. Shared Moonlight. When using Moonlight Step, teleport one willing creature in 10 feet of you. So basically, you can just teleport people with you now. It's good. I am curious as to what the craziest Lunar Swipe is. Like, what the heck is going on? This is the second time something's been mentioned, but never listed. Like, there's wording here that isn't reflected in the words. Like, what's Lunar Swipe? Actually, I'm gonna real quickly. Where is it? It's in 6, wasn't it? Yeah, it's in this one. Excuse the zoom. It's what it is, but well, here, let's. There we go. Okay. Land. Moon. Okay, they just had abjurations. Yeah, Lunar Swipe was never mentioned. Maybe it's... Okay, I think that's what it's referring to as Lunar Swipe. Because I think that's what it's trying to refer to, but it doesn't mention the extra attack part. So, yeah, Yeah, it's just an odd, like, stuff is wonky. But apparently there's something called Lunar Swipe, which improved circle forms is supposed to give you an extra use of. Or maybe this was like from a templated wild shapes thing, or I don't know. But lunar form buffing lunar radiance, it's great. Also note that it doesn't change up Moonbeam anymore, but fair. I wouldn't have minded if it was like, oh yeah, all your spells, all 6 of them get upgrades. But anyway, that is all for today. Like and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos in One D&D, as well as other stuff that I do, such as various homebrew projects, as well as gaming, again, eventually, whenever I get around to that. But without further ado, I will see y'all next time. Halo Zoo out.